afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Well, today is a special day because it is our daughter Alicia's birthday today, and so I thought I would make her birthday card because we're all going out to dinner tonight, and I wanted to make a card that was all in her favorite colors. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to be using one of the stamp sets from the new kit, the Sunny Days kit. I'm going to use the Delicate Flowers again, but I thought I would color it all in her favorite colors, and I'm going to show you what those are in just a little bit and just show you a sneak peek of her artwork. Now, many of you know my daughter Alicia is one of our artists here at Gina K Designs, and she always contributes every month to our card kit. And this month, her contribution is the Twisted Stems stencil. She does a lot of layering work for me because I can't do that. I don't know how to do any of that, and she's pretty amazing at it. And when you see the piece of artwork I'm going to show you, you can see her art goes way beyond just a few flowers. She's pretty amazing. But I'm very excited to make this card for her today, and I'm so glad that you're here to join me in this process. Now, before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I am better than horrible.
Well, that's all one can ask for.
Trying to keep it together back in the dead space.
Well, good. It is a fun day today. I am finding that a lot of our friends on Facebook cannot find us. If you look at the comments, it's like all YouTube, and our friends are struggling to find us. So
why is that?
Mindy, I see that you're here, Mindy Egan. Can you do me a favor, Mindy? Can you share the YouTube video in our Facebook group just to let people know where to find us? Recently, Facebook changed the way they do things, and they no longer let you share streamed videos from streaming services into Facebook groups. So it's been very difficult for our Facebook friends to find us because we could do it on our Facebook page, but not in our Facebook group. And so our Facebook group friends are kind of like looking around going, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. Hey, there they are. I see some Facebook friends. Awesome. It's great. Yeah, I can see people coming in now. That's great. And Facebook might be on a delay too. They got a lot of weird stuff going. But we'll get started, and if you're coming in from Facebook and you're coming in late or you are watching on rewatch, welcome. We are making a card for my daughter's birthday. So I want to show you a piece of Alicia's artwork, and Alicia always talks about her favorite color combination. In fact, she has a really cute house, and she's in the process of decorating it right now, and she wants to paint all of the walls. So she got all these paint swatches, and she was sharing them with me, and they are some Gina K colors in there, and they're beautiful. Very different than what I pick for my house, but I absolutely love her palette. So let's take a look here. This is a piece of artwork that Alicia did. I just pulled it up on my phone, and you can see, I'll just show you. Oh, that's weird that it does that. But you could see like in here, her colors are definitely black for sure. So, which is good because I put black on every card. And then she's got this kind of turquoise teal. You can see there's like lighter turquoise in there and teal. So I was going to use Turquoise Sea and Tranquil Teal. And then for her yellow's very bright. So I think our wild dandelion would work, but then adding a little honey mustard into it. And then the red, she loves bright red, so I thought I would use Red Hot, and then for my complementary color, mix a little faded brick in there. And then she does have a tiny little splash of green right here where these plants are. So I was going to do jelly bean green and fresh asparagus for the greenery. Now, obviously, I am not making a piece of artwork like this, so I'm going to do floral, so I'll have a lot more greens in mine. But I definitely want to hit on that red, that turquoise, and that yellow when I do the flowers. Now, you saw me do flowers. Let me zoom out here. I have to learn my new zoom here. There we go. Okay, so you saw me do this card the other day, and I made I made this. You saw me do this stamp set, and I made this. So lots of blues and greens, very subdued. Pretty card, but very subdued, and Alicia likes those bold, bright colors. So I want to use this image and this image here, and I want to alternate the flowers so that they are like red, turquoise, yellow, red, turquoise, yellow, and do kind of a wraparound thing. So we'll see if my plan pans out the way I want it to. So I am going to get my Misty here, my backwards Misty. Everybody laughs at me who learned to use the Misty the right way. I do mine backwards, but a lot of you are saying that's not backwards, but that's because you maybe saw it from me and I didn't know the right way to do it. So I'm going to, let's see, I want to stamp 2 of these. Okay. So where's my black onyx? I need some black onyx ink. Now let me find that. That should be here somewhere. Oh, it is. It's hiding behind my blending brushes. And welcome, everyone. It is great to see you here on a Thursday for our Crafternoon Live. All right. I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to stamp it twice. Now, the other thing that my daughter really loves is gold. I'm a silver girl. I use a lot of silver, and my jewelry is silver. Alicia loves gold. So I thought about doing this with polyglaze so that the images were gold sparkle, but that's a whole bunch of extra work that I don't know that I have time for here in my live today because I'm going to be doing so much of this other stuff. Well, the reason why I use my Misty backwards is because I feel like it should open like a book. And but the numbers were put on there. See, the 1 is up here. See how they're upside down? It was really meant to be used this way, where you close it like this. So that's my bad. I never watched a video. I bought my Misty, took it out of the box, and I just started using it like a book because that's what felt natural to me. Yeah, and if you're a lefty, maybe you do it the other way, or maybe you do it this way because you're a lefty. All right, I'm going to use some of these too. I'm going to do 2 of these. This image right here. I love this image. I don't think I've stamped this one. I think I polyglazed this one, but I don't think I stamped it. So when you have a new image and you're stamping it for the first time, just kind of rub your finger over it to remove any manufacturing residue. Or you can just wash it with some soapy water and a toothbrush, an old toothbrush, not your husband's toothbrush. And you can also use some Versamark on there. Hi, Tom. You could use some Versamark on there if you want to get it prepped a little bit. It's just a manufacturing residue. The more you stamp it, the better it will stamp. But I think that is a pretty good, crisp image. So am I going to make it if I do it this way, or am I going to overlap anything? Let's see. Oh, I'll make it. Okay. I want 2 of each. I don't use the ruler either. I've used it for a couple of things, but only like to move something 1/8 of an inch down or up, and I can still do that when it's upside down, the Misty, so. And Mindy, if you shared that in our Facebook group, I really appreciate it. Thank you. I meant to do that, and Tom and I were kind of looking at the camera, making sure it was bright enough, and the clock ticked down, and he said, uh-oh, here we go, let's go. And I was like, okay, here we go. Now, for the greeting, I think I want to use a different greeting than this set. I want to use the greeting I wanted to use on my last card, but it didn't work. I think it's going to work this time. So I'm going to pull out an old stamp set. You know I love to go back to the old. And I'm going to use this Birthday Wishes one. So I like the way this particular greeting looks with this stamp set. I love how everything, especially the kits, tend to mix and match really well together. You know, all the little critters seem to work really well with the last batch of critters, and all of the greetings can be interchanged with different flowers and different designs. But I kind of like this greeting. I just like that it's kind of long and thin, but it's bold. There we go. Okay. So I've got my greetings stamped. I've got everything that I need stamped. So now I can put my Misty away and we can get to stenciling this beautiful foliage and flowers. So let me find the stencil here that I want to work with. And I know it's over here somewhere because I cleaned it the other day. Here it is. So this one's going to be a little tricky because what I want to do with this is I want to alternate. Now, for those of you that are just joining us, we'll take one more quick look at the artwork. This is my daughter Alicia's artwork. And we are going to, these are her favorite colors, very much a, like a red, a bright red, like a red hot, even a red velvet, turquoise sea, tranquil teal, and then wild dandelion, maybe with a little honey mustard in there. So, okay. It's good that I'm a little closer anyway, because you'll be able to see what I'm doing more closely. So I am going to, well, maybe that's a little close. There we go. I'm going to just tape this down. And this is a really good way for me to show you how you can use that black colored pencil even with reds and turquoises, other colors like that. The black colored pencil video, I think a lot of you really enjoyed that and you liked trying that, but maybe you would like to see that done on other colors than that blue. So we're going to start right here with some red hot. So we'll make the big flower red. And I am going to use a smaller blending brush for this.
Quick questions.
Yes.
Next release, any ideas?
Yes, we were going to have our next release at the end of January, but we are still working on our May shipments.
You mean the end of...
the end of July, not the end of January. Sorry. End of July. But we're still working on our shipments, so we decided to push it to July 2nd. We were going to make it the end of June, but we're going to make it July 2nd. And that'll give everybody time to get their kits and play a little bit before we start working with something new. All right, so I'm going to...
Okay, and will this set be available again?
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. It won't be available as a kit, but it's coming back as a stamp and die combo. The polyglaze is available a la carte, and we will also have... the other set that's in this kit, the Just Keep Swimming, that will be available a la carte too, as well as the stencil. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of faded brick at the bottom here. So I have to place that back in there just to deepen it up at the bottom. So I'm going to use some faded brick. Bring that color in. Oh, that's a nice combination, isn't it? Can go up underneath there too. There we go. So that's a pretty glowy flower. Now I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to do the same thing on this one because I'm going to clean the stencil and start with a new color on the next flower. I'm bringing all of her favorite colors in here. So we're going to pick this up with red hot again. And I know I have a little bit of color on there. I probably should just wipe that off. I'm not going to clean it, but I'll just wipe the bulk of it off. This way I'm not bringing faded brick up there. It's nice when you only have to line one single flower up too. Okay. So I've got the red. I think I'm going to like this card. These are colors that I probably wouldn't have chosen to use. But this is the way that you can customize those cards for your loved ones, picking their favorite colors. Like Tom's favorite color is orange. So I always try to put some of that into whatever card I'm making for him. even though my favorite color is turquoise. And I mean, honestly, if I could, I'd probably make every single card I make turquoise because I love it so much. But that's impractical. And I think it really stretches you a little bit when you get to try new things and try new combinations. Okay, so I'm going to clean the stencil, and then we're going to move to the second flower. And the second flower, I'm going to make, I'm going to make this one. They're both very close in color to each other. So I think I'm going to make this one yellow. So I'll do the yellow. So I'm going to do the wild dandelion. I'm going to start with that. I've got a brush here. And if you're worried, you can always, like you're worried that you're going to get yellow into that flower, you can always take a little Post-it note and just block it off, and then you don't have to worry.
Holly wants to know, what is polyglaze?
Polyglaze is similar to sheet designs that Thermoweb has, where they're black and you can foil them. Well, polyglaze is a clear material that is put on top of a light gray ink, and it's foilable. So the designs are printed with a polyglaze coating, and then the polyglaze will allow you to add foil to your design. And I know that's not like the best explanation, but I'm adding some honey mustard in here just to deepen this a little bit. But I would highly suggest that you check out my playlist on my YouTube channel for foiling, all things foiling, and type in polyglaze, because you will get a lot of information on it and you'll be able to see it in action. Okay, so I did wild dandelion with a tiny bit of honey mustard using the detail blending brush. So we'll hold her drawing up to this after I'm done, and we'll see if I got it a little bit close. I'm just gonna grab some ink on here. I don't need a whole lot. So again, wild dandelion. Nice and bright yellow. And I'm adding the shading, even though she's got a lot of shading in her drawing. But I'm doing, what I can do with ink.
Diane would like to know, where did you get those little blenders?
They are available in our store under, well, if you just go to our store and just type in the search bar, blending brushes, these will come up. They come in a set of 4, and they're awesome. Okay, so I got my 2 yellows. Now I'm going to switch over to my Turquoise Sea, and I'm going to add a little Tranquil Teal under that. So I am going to clean this again. If you're new to Gina K Designs, I have to say that you will get a lot of card ideas out of one kit, because I really focus on the kits for, almost the entire time in between kits. So this kit is going to get a lot of love still. As you can see, we've already done a ton of cards with it. And I'm just going to keep going because I love it so much.
Cheryl is asking, do you recommend a detail brush for each color or just color families?
Color families. I'm a big color family person. I think that that's a great way to do it. Because you could just kind of wipe off the color if there's some color, and you can get most of it off. So the turquoises, you could brush off the darker color to go back to the lighter color, and it's really not going to contaminate your ink pad. And if you find that you have certain colors that you use all the time, like me, for example, I tend to use the lilacs a lot. I really like the lilacs. So I actually have 2 blending brushes for the lilacs. This way I don't have to clean them all the time. But if it's, if you just use reds every now and then, I would say having a red brush is totally fine. You don't need to have more than one. Okay, so can you see that depth we're getting in there just by doing this little color technique?
Yes, yes.
Just by working the color. underneath there, the darker color underneath. All right, last one. And then I'm going to switch over to the greens.
Seems like turquoises should be turquoise.
Plural. Okay, I have my own versions of plural. Things that I think should be plural and singular. Like, I think I've talked about this before, but we have so many new people that maybe some people haven't heard my theory on that. But I really don't understand why, like, okay, contact lens, that should be 2. And then a contact lens should be 1, right? Just one len. And what about pantyhose? If it's just one side, couldn't it be pantyhose? I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so there
Well,
I've got my.
good.
I've got.
I opened up a can of worms here. That never happens, right?
You did. Yeah, you did. All right, now I'm going to add some leaves here. So for this one, I'm going to go all with the jelly bean. Although, when I look at her color, I know I keep going back to this picture, but when I look at her color here, that really looks like Lucky Clover to me. I might want to go with Lucky Clover. For those of you that just joined us, this is a drawing that my daughter did. She drew a whole series of these, and they're unbelievable. They're on her Instagram. They're really unbelievable. And she, she's pretty amazing artist. All right, I'm going to go with Lucky Clover because I feel like I should. So I have a green brush here, probably has fresh asparagus on it, so I'm just going to rub some of that off. And then I'm going to use a detail brush for this. Get some clover on here.
We have a whole history of word usage in our family.
Yeah, we're a wordy kind of family, aren't we? We do weird things with words.
So that just makes me think of the word absurd.
The absurd word, the absurd.
We can't share these all at once, but we did make up an alternate name for every McDonald's food on the menu, pretty much.
Yeah, we did. Oh, no.
I'll just share one today.
Okay.
Hash browns, we renamed Hey Bros.
Yeah, we did.
Back to the dead space.
Okay, so I have that green. Hey Bros. Do you want some Hey Bros? Well, you gotta tell them what you called your, what was it? The oatmeal? Fruit and, what was it? Fruit?
Well, no, there was...
Oh, do the cinnamon roll. That's the best one. The cinnamon roll.
I don't know where the cinnamon bun came from.
The cinnamon roll. Yeah, the cinnamon bun.
Cinnamon. Is that what was it called?
It was...
See, we have to have the actual McDonald's name.
It was called a cinnamon melt.
Cinnamon melt.
Yeah, and it when you'd open it up, it was really melted. Really melted.
Okay, and so somehow the name of that got changed to the Ishkaminimum Blob. I don't think they're ready for this.
I don't either. I don't think I'm ready. Okay, so I did that all with Lucky Clover. I'm going to go back and I'm going to add a little bit of Christmas pine, because I love Christmas pine with the Lucky Clover. It's been a great combination. It's been just a great combination together. Ishkaminimum Blob. Yeah, and, you know, I mean, we used to do that with the kids, and that's what made it extra funny, is because the kids would just die laughing at the words Tom would make up, and we would always be like, I dare ya at the drive-thru. Ask for an Ishkaminimum Blob and see what you get.
I wouldn't do
man.
that anymore.
No, I can feel the people unsubscribing as we speak. All right. I promise the card will be different. It'll be good.
Wendy wants to know, what about French fries? And I have to say, Alicia named those.
Yeah, she did when she was a baby.
Just started talking, she called them shy shies.
Yep, so they were shy shies. Shy shies. Yeah, we have to figure out what the real names of some of that stuff was too for the other ones, because it's funnier when you know what the real name is. I think. We'll see. I'll look at my analytics after this video and let you know if it's funnier. Okay, so there now I've got some darks and lights in there. That whole one got a little bit dark, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, now I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to get this one, and we're going to color this in the same way so that the greens all coordinate together. So I'm going to wipe this down. Now what's fun about this stencil, this one, is there's actually two parts. So you can do the first part, which is going to do the bulk of the leaves. And I'll do those all in Lucky Clover, and then I'll add a little Christmas pine, and then I'll do the other ones in all Christmas pine. So let's start with the Lucky Clover. Nug nuts. That's great. I love that. That's so cute. I think it's fun. Wordplay is fun. As we get to know each other better, we'll share even deeper, darker secrets of things that we used to talk about in the car. These were always car things, right?
Quite often, yes.
Yeah. We'd be on our way on vacation or to a sports event or something. And to pass the time, we didn't have the iPad in the back seat. We actually had to talk to each other. I'm sure a lot of you remember those days, right? Playing games in the car. And how many of you played Slug Bug Beetle with your kids, looking for VW Volkswagen Beetle cars, the bugs? I played all those games. Oh my gosh, we're going down memory lane now. So I decided to get all the Lucky Clover out of the way first, and then I'm going to go back in with the Christmas pine. It's funny how a kid's birthday can make you go back and think about when they were little and the fun things you did. What games did you play in the car, Tom, with your family when you were little?
We played.
Here we go. Buckle up, everybody. Just get your seatbelt on. Now I'm going to add some Christmas pine down at the bottom of each of these. So what'd you play?
We played Who's Making That Sound?
Oh, no.
I'm trying to drive.
Yeah. Everybody shut up and have a good time. Oh, I like that together. Look how that glows. Isn't that pretty when you do that? All right, we're going to do it over here now. I know a lot of people in the comments had similar experiences to us. Funny. Now everybody has a tablet and everybody's just quiet, right? They have a phone or whatever. Kind of miss those days. Okay, so now we've got two glowy ones. Now we're going to do this stencil. This is part 2. And this is just going to fill in these center ones. And the ones in the center would be just a little bit darker. So we're just going to go straight away with the Christmas pine. And we'll just start at the bottom and just work our way up to light. And if it's too blue, I don't think it will be though. We could add a little, you know what we could do since we're doing this nice and light? For the second color, we could add a little bit of that, either that Tranquil Teal or even a little fresh asparagus down near the bottom just to darken it up. See how that looks. Oh, see, I think that looks pretty though. It gives a little bit of variation between the leaves. I like that. Let's leave it. You never know what it's going to look like until you pull the stencil off. And it's really hard to mess this up. Oh, I Spy. Yeah, I Spy with my little eye. I remember that game. There was never a winner. All right, there we go. But it wasn't about that. It was just about laughing and having fun. Okay, so these are my flowers all together. This is going to be my color palette for my card. And now it's time to die cut all of this out. Punch bugs, VW bugs were punch bugs. And remember PT Cruisers? They were in that game too. Oh my goodness. In the Wayback Machine here today. But it's okay. It's fun to think about those times. Alrighty. So I'm going to get the die cutting machine. And I'm going to have to zoom out. So give me a second to zoom out. This is going to be way too close. My remote I have to turn on and off, and then I have to go the right way. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start by cutting these flowers out. I love that everybody is sharing their memories and asking each other, hey, do you remember this? Do you remember that? It's so fun. All right, we'll start with cutting this one out. Now, I definitely am going to be using a little bit of Masking Magic strips. A piece of a Masking Magic strip to hold all of this down because I want it to be crisp and I want it to cut out well and centered. If you're worried about it, you can always do that centering technique that I've demonstrated on so many videos. But I think this one is pretty easy to cut out. We'll see. We'll see, as long as it's close. And it's better than horrible. That's what we need. We need it to be better than horrible. I think it'll be better than horrible. One thing I wanted to tell you, for those of you who have an intracut, make sure that you're doing most of your die cutting at 0. And when I say 0, there's a second dial. The first dial you turn to die cut, and then the bottom dial, try to keep it at 0 for easier pieces to cut out. And your plates won't warp that way. If you have it always cranked up to the highest, your plates are really going to warp. You can flatten them out using hot water, not boiling water, hot water. Allow your sink water, the hot water, to run over the plate. Just lay it in the sink and let the hot water run over it until the plate starts to get a little bit flexible. And then you can kind of flex it back into shape and let it cool by putting something heavy on top of it. But to avoid that, only use those tighter settings when you're using intricate dies. That's what it's for. Like if you have a very intricate die that won't cut out, cranking up the volume there is going to help. But don't do it like that all the time, or your plates are just going to warp and warp and warp and warp. And try to remember to switch the plates over back and forth, which I never remember to do. All right, and there's the second one. So now I'm going to cut out these. I like the way they turned out. Yeah, they will warp. You know, I mean, they're definitely going to warp at some point because they're plates. They're consumable. We sell replacement plates. Just like any die cutting machine, over time they're going to warp. But you can avoid a lot of the warping by not having it cranked too tight and by flipping the plate over after each use, which I'm not doing here. My bad, but that can help. Okay. Oh, our machines, yes, our machines were available worldwide, and a lot of our wholesale accounts had ordered them and sold them, and then they sold out. So I'm sure that our wholesale accounts, our European wholesalers, will order more. I know we had a lot of stores actually in Europe and the UK and Australia ordered them, Canada, all of our internationals ordered them. So they're definitely available, or they were available until they sold out. Now we have another shipment coming. So, you know, if it's something you're interested in, make sure you tell your local store to set up an account with us and order them. Remember, a lot of people think we just send products to stores. We don't. We can't make a store carry our product. The store has to contact us and tell us that they want to carry our product. So if your local store doesn't, or they haven't heard about us, tell them about us and have them give us a call. We would love to have them. Okay, so we've got 2 of these cut out, and now we're going to cut out that greeting, and then we're going to do a couple other little die cut pieces too. So let's cut this out. Now there's a coordinating die set for this stamp set. Now I'm going to find where I put that. I know it's over here. I brought it over. Here we go. The birthday wishes. There. So we're going to cut that out too. I feel like I could cut straighter if it looks straighter. There we go. And welcome everybody. It's great to see all of you joining us. People are still floating in. Today I am making a birthday card for my daughter in her favorite colors. No, we won't be carrying our products at Michael's or Joann's or any of those. We like to work with independent retail stores and independent online stores. And a lot of the big box stores, they won't carry small brands. You have to be a much bigger brand to get in there. I've never really approached them, but they generally like to work with the big brands. So, okay, now I'm going to cut a Master Layouts 2. I'm going to cut the stitched one in white. Now this, because it's such a big die, I do turn it up a little bit because I feel like I get a better cut when it's just a little bit tighter on this one. I hope I didn't move that, but we'll see. Yeah, I love the Intracut. It's a great machine. And we've sold out of 2 rounds so far, which is crazy. All right, there we go. Now, while I have this this set of dies out, I'm going to cut a black panel. And you can see, I mean, I'm not flipping my thing, and you can see it is warped, right? It's warped a little bit. However, it is a flexible board. So you can flex it back into shape and get it straight again. It's not going to be perfectly straight unless you do the hot water thing, but you can get it pretty straight. And some of you have asked if the Magic Mat works, and the Magic Mat, I think that's available at scrapbook.com. It does work. I've tried it. It does work. But that warps too. So, you know, you still have to straighten that one out. You're putting so much pressure on these die cutting machines that you're bound to get a little bit of warping here and there. And even if you get a die that's a little warped, it's easy to flex the die back into shape. So, you know, if that happens, you can always just flex the die back into shape. But this is not warping. And if your dies are warping and curling, you've got the machine set way too tight. It doesn't need to be that tight. Now I'm going to cut out, I thought I would do like a little bit of grounding with this. My last one, I just went right onto the card. But for this one, I'm going to use these ovals. So I'm going to use this one and this one. These are our double stitched ovals and these are our single stitched ovals. They're very close in size, and if you just wanted an oval, a white oval or a colored oval, you could use either one of these and get a great look. But if you want to layer them together, then I recommend getting both sets because they work together to create a little shadow layer. I'm going to turn that back to 0. They work really nice to get a little shadow layer. And if you like the card that you just saw me pop into the scene, check out my video from last Thursday. Isn't that when I made that, Tom? Last Thursday, I believe. And you can see how I made that. Now I'm going to be doing a similar technique today with these flowers. I'm going to add just a little bit of black to them to make them pop. And I think that's going to be really fun. And it's really good for you know, being, I wanted to show you this today because a lot of people were asking about other colors other than the blue and how the black would look. So I'm going to be able to show you that today with 3 colors. I don't know how much I'll do on the yellow. We'll see. No, I'm not going to be making any better press plates in the near future. But you know, and I'm not going to be doing glimmer. I like to do the toner stuff, and I kind of work with ThermoWeb for all of my things like that. So I don't have any plans, but never say never. You never know. I might come up with a hot foil plate or a better press plate down the line. But right now I don't have any plans in the near future. Okay, so I'm going to be using some Gamsol. And once again, this is what Gamsol looks like. It's an artist grade odorless mineral spirits. If you don't like this, you can use lavender spike oil or zest it. And you can also use baby oil. I don't prefer baby oil just because it's a little bit oily and it doesn't really dry very well for me, but some people have great luck with it and you could try it. This is a blending stump. We just got these back in stock yesterday. So these come in a 6-pack, I believe, which gives you 12 ends. So you can work with 12 different colors at a time. And then when you're done with a color, after it dries, you can take a file, even a nail file that you get at like the beauty supply store or Walgreens or whatever, and you can rub. See, I'm turning as I go, and I'm getting most of that color off. You see the color transferring to the sandpaper there? And then that cleans it up. Let's see if I can get that up against white. It cleans it up so you can see there's no color left on there, nothing that's going to transfer. And you can use a different color with it. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of black down here to the bottom. Just a little bit, and I think, you know, it makes such a huge difference when you blend this out. And the way to blend it out, if you're new to Gamsol, I've got a whole playlist of videos on Gamsol. But just dip your blending stump into the Gamsol for just a couple seconds to allow some of the Gamsol to absorb up the blending stump. And then you're going to go right onto the colored pencil, and you're just going to work your way up in a circular motion, just bringing that color up. Until it just fades into that red. Now you see the difference? Look at the difference between those two. This one has so much more depth just by that tiny little bit of black colored pencil. And I know I just showed you this technique, so for those of you that just watched it, you might be like, oh, I just saw this. But I think it's, you know, good for a refresher and also good to see how it looks on other colors other than that blue that I did. I think it makes a huge difference. I have so many floaters in my eyes. I almost just swatted a bug. Anybody else have that? All right, let's do it on the blue a little bit. We'll be brave, and we'll do it on the turquoise. Now, I don't like it just like that. It's okay, but I really like to see it blend, so I like to blend it out and up. Makes a difference, right? Gives it so much depth. And now I'm going to be really brave and do a tiny little bit here at the bottom of the yellow, just a little bit. Wish me luck. But I think it's going to work. I think it works on anything, to be honest with you. Because it gets gray and it just creates a haziness over that. See? Looks completely different. Beautiful. I love it. All right, just a tiny bit of black down here. And this is just a black Prismacolor pencil. Now, somebody asked if you could use other kinds of pencils for this. And, you know, I think that you could probably use Crayola because they are a wax-based pencil. So if you have a black Crayola pencil, maybe in your child or grandchild's little art desk, just make sure you have it to a sharp point. See that sharp point? I'm being careful today. I don't want to have happen what happened in the last video. And if you didn't see that, make sure you watch our last video to see what happened with my colored pencil. It's pretty funny. Not funny, but funny. Okay, so now I've got that little bit of depth in there. Love that look. Really love it. So I'm going to do the same thing on a couple of these. Maybe just the big leaves, or maybe that would be a good color to add to these right here. Since I don't have a second color in there, let's try it. So that was the, can't forget this one. That was just the Christmas pine. So let's see how that changes. Am I close up enough? Would you like me to zoom in even more? I think I can. I think I can. Let's see. Is that still clear, Tom?
It is.
Okay. Sometimes if you zoom in too much, you lose your clarity. So I'm just pulling that. I'm going right over the color and just kind of scratching it up. Such a fun thing to be able to do with your colored pencil. And you could try other colors, you know, like if you don't have a black pencil, try a real deep brown or try a navy and see what you get. I think one of the beauties of this technique is really the darkest part of the color is just right at the root there. And you're kind of bringing up just a thin haze of whatever color you're doing. So I feel like if I had done like navy here or even brown, it would still look really pretty. But I feel like that looks, it's got so much more depth now than this one. Look at these leaves, you know, right in here. And then look at these, just that tiny little bit. I get on a technique and I want to do it for like the next 10 cards. So I'm sorry if this is a tad bit boring since you've already seen it. And it's also nice to see how you can take ink blending and, you know, even though this isn't a layered stencil in the way of some of our layered stencils where, you know, you create the shading with layer 2. It's not like that, but you can see how you can create that look just with a little bit of pencil. Now, somebody asked me if you could do this with Copics. And my short answer is, if you're asking me if I can do it with Copics, I'm going to say no. If you're asking me if you can do it with Copics, I'm going to say yes, because I'm not that good at Copic markers. My coloring medium of choice has always been colored pencils and Gamsol. I will use them, but I love colored pencils because I personally feel like I have more control because they're dry. So they don't move. They just go where you put them. Where anything wet like watercolor or marker, it spreads more. So I personally feel like I did more dark on this one, but let's add just a little bit to these two. But I know there's a way to do it. You just have to know what you're doing. And I don't feel like I'm good enough to do that, but some of you are really good enough to do that. So by all means, you could add that depth down at the bottom of the leaves with a Copic marker. I think you'd need more than one Copic marker to do it, though, because, you know, what Gamsol does is it spreads that color, right? So as it starts moving up the leaf, it starts getting lighter. But if I'm using a black marker, it's just going to be black. So I would have to start down near the bottom with black, and then I would have to work my way up to a gray, and then a lighter gray, and then, you know, out to maybe nothingness, right? Where with the Gamsol, it kind of does all of those stages for you, because it keeps the color the darkest where you start, and as you move the blending stump up, it does the shading naturally. So I hope that makes sense. And for those of you that are newer to coloring and stuff, I really think that colored pencils and Gamsol is fun because it's not difficult to get a great look. If you're a more experienced artist, you may enjoy the additional control you get from being able to mix and match different color markers together and get it exactly the way you want. With Gamsol, you just get what you get, you know. If you're using black, you're going to get black, and then you're going to just get gray. But if you're using Copic markers, you could start with black and then work that into different shades of darker green, into a light green. So you've got more control with the Copic markers. However, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, you have less control. So I like this because some of you yell at me, and in a very kind way, you say to me, stop saying you're not an artist. But I'm not saying that I'm bad at what I do. I'm just saying that I'm not an artist. I'm a crafter. And even though crafting is very artistic, having a daughter that actually went to college for art and understanding that there's a lot more to seeing color and practice and seeing light and all of that, I just haven't put that work in. It's not that I couldn't do it if I wanted to take the time to learn it. But I just have so much fun making cards that to me, I always like to go, okay, what's easy? What's easy and fun? What's going to make it look good and going to be kind of easy for me to do? And this is definitely one of those techniques that's very easy. Look at all that. Wow. That's fun. And so, for those of you that are a little more like me, or maybe you're just starting out and you just want to try something easy, this is very fun. It's also something easy to take with you on the go. I feel like you could take just a couple colored pencils and a tiny little thing of Gamsol and maybe a tiny little, what are they called? The little salt dishes. You get them in the antique stores. They're really tiny. You could take something like that and put a little Gamsol in it and a blending stump, and you could have a lot of fun coloring. All right, so I think my coloring is done. What do you think, guys? You think I added enough? Should I add a little bit in here? What time is it? Oh, I feel like maybe I should. Maybe I should. It won't take long. It's just a couple of leaves here. And then the card assembly is going to be super quick. But I feel like if some of the leaves have it, maybe all of the leaves should have it because they're going to work together. And like once you start, it makes it look unfinished if you don't if you don't do it. And that's just me. But it's not hard to do, so we'll add it. So tonight for our daughter's birthday, we're going out for Italian food, and I'm very excited. I love Italian food. I guess that's no shock to any of you, because I'm Italian. So do you all have a favorite thing that you get when you go to an Italian restaurant? I always get ravioli. No matter where I go, I get ravioli with marinara sauce. Always, always, always. It's my favorite. And so I always look on the menu ahead of time to make sure if we're going to a place that they have it. And that's what I get. What are you going to get tonight, Tom?
Definitely.
Okay. Tom likes to have something different every time he goes out. Hey, Tom, while I'm finishing up these leaves, I think it would be a great time for the word of the day.
Word of the day. Okay. So we're going to keep it nice and easy, not get too crazy like we have been. Mojo is a big word used in the crafting world. Some days you have it, and on the days that you don't have it, those awful days, you have nojo. Nojo. No mojo. And then if it's just you get a little bit, but it's like really hard work, you have slow-jo. Nojo and slow-jo, words of the day. Back to the dead space.
Those are great words of the day. Well, if you do have no mojo or you have nojo, colored pencils and die cutting and just coloring is a great thing to do while you're trying to get your mojo back. So it all ties in. Good one, Tom. I like it. All right. Now we're going to assemble this card. I'm going to put the white panel onto the black panel from Master Layouts 2, and then I'm going to add just a little touch of color onto the back here. And I tend to like to do that with either warm colors like Craft, or I like to do it with a little bit of Stormy Sky. It's such a nice soft gray, and I think it's going to be just enough. Okay, so I picked the Decorative Duo stencil again because I used that last time, and a lot of you ran out and got it. And so I thought, well, I'm going to use it again then because I want people to get the most bang from their buck. So I'm going to add a little bit up in this corner. I'm going to use this side. This is the Decorative Duo. That's funny, Julie. Gojo. All right, I'm going to use this side of the decorative double stencil, and I'm going to add just a little bit of soft gray up in here, like that. That's very soft. I'm going to do a little down here, like that. Okay. Oh, Tom, you've created a monster. And then I'm going to use this side over here and a little bit down here. Now you're going to be able to see this a little bit better when it's not, when I take photos, but hopefully you can see that. If I tilt it that way out of the light, you can see it a little bit better. But I just mixed those stencils. Now I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to add a little bit of this basket weave stencil. I'm going to be safe. Better safe than sorry. Just going to pop that down there so it doesn't move. And I'm going to add just a little bit into the center. Like that. Not the whole thing, just a little bit. I feel like these really help ground the images and really make them look, I don't know, it's something I really like to do. And then I'm going to pop this up into the center of this card, So this is going to get popped up in here like this. Oh gosh. And then I'm going to place this on this side coming around, and this one coming around like this. Then I'm going to take some little bits. I don't know if I'm going to like this. I was going to take a couple little bits and have them sneaking out of the sides here. I was going to like trim them down and just kind of put a few little pieces coming out of the sides. So what I'll do here, I'm going to cut this. I know it's scary, but I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut this one off. Don't be afraid to do this, even though I just said it's scary because I'm afraid to do it. Okay, first, let's start by picking a card-based color. Now, when I look at my daughter's artwork again, we're looking at this, I feel like what I see the most in here is red. Red just stands out to me, and I know if I said to Alicia, you have to pick one color, what's your favorite color? She would say red. So let's do a red card base. And I'm going to choose, I think I'll choose red velvet. It's a little bit of a deeper red. I'm just going to go on the floor here because I'm floor-organized. Oh, God. I had to cut that on the floor, people. I have no more room up here. And then I'm going to score this at the 5.5-inch mark. I do think teal would be pretty too, but I know how much she loves red. In fact, I got her a couple dishes for Christmas, and I got them in red, and she was thrilled. And she also got a red Keurig for her kitchen. So I think red is the color. It's the way to be. So we'll put this on here, like this. And then I'm going to pop this up because I want to, boy, like, I can't see straight. There we go. Is that straight? I can't even see if it's straight. I think it's straightish. How's that? We're going with straightish. And then let me get some big foam squares. I'm going to put those on the back. And I'm leaving space to slip things underneath. Now, I'm hand delivering this card tonight, so I'm not worried about it getting crushed or anything. So I don't have to use quite as many foam squares. And this is going to go right in the center. There we go. That's pretty centered. Centered-ish. That's where we're going today. And now we are going to wrap this around kind of like a wreath. Like that. I might go up a little higher here and down. I have to see the greeting. Let me get the greeting on there because I can't cover all the yellow. So I have to put the greeting on here first to see, is it going to cover everything? It is going to cover a lot of that yellow, so maybe if I do it, I'll do it this way. I'll do it that way. There we go. If I do it that way, it's going to cover more of the green and I won't lose any of my colors. All right, so that's going to go there like that. And then I'm going to slip some of this in here and I'm going to just see how it looks. So a little bit under there. A little bit under here. I'll fix that. It is simple the other way too. We don't have to do all of that. So, you think it's too much? Do you like it just plain? I know we did a lot of coloring with this, but, or maybe just on the ends like this. Coming out on the sides like that. Maybe these little bits we didn't even need. I think that's kind of pretty because it's kind of like a trellis, like it's coming down. And then these are, what do you think? too much, don't add any of it. Let's look at that, just plain. I kind of agree that maybe that is enough. What do you think? I could save these for another project. Okay, it sounds like you guys overwhelmingly like it this way more than you like it the other way. So let's get it on there then. So I'm going to tape. I'm going to put tape on the back, mostly in the center here. Like that. That is really pretty. I'm not pressing it. Did you notice I didn't press it yet? Because I want to make sure that I get them even. Like that. Yeah, I think that's really elegant. Okay. And I like the way these just kind of go outside a little bit. Okay, we'll press all that down. There we go. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a foam square under there. And let me show you. I have small foam squares here. And I could take a small foam square and put it under here just to help prop it up a little bit. And I could do the same thing with the other one. Actually have to put the pressure down though. Under here. Just to help take a little bit of that pressure off. And then we will put the birthday greeting right here in the center over the greenery. I love that greeting. That's perfect for this. So we could do it with glue, or I can just put a little bit of tape on here, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm using the tweezers just to get it straight. And once it looks straight to me, then I'll let go. Oh, I love that. I think that's really pretty. What do you think? Did I make it crooked? I can move it still. You get a little wiggle room with the Gina K Designs tape runner. And then I'm going to put a couple little sparkles on here. Now she does like gold, but I feel like just these are going to just pick up whatever color is near it. So you know me with my disco ball. So what do you think of this card? What do you think of the colors? And we'll look at it one more time quickly next to her artwork. And then we'll put one there. We'll do one in there, one here, and one there. Okay. Where is the pick and stick tool? Here it is. So I'll do one there. I'm doing just like a little bit of the bigger size, like the medium, and then the small ones out near the ends. That's so nice. I feel like in a case like this, if you wanted to do an even amount of sequins, you could, because everything else is even on this card. It's like real balanced, but I still think that looks pretty good. Okay, what do you think? What do you think, Tom?
Woohoo!
Now let's just take a look at her artwork one more time. Here are her colors, and there's my card. I just played off of her red, her turquoise, and her yellow, and her black that's in there, her white. And I think I nailed it. I think she's going to like the colors, so we'll see. We'll see what she says tonight when we give her the card. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it reminds me of her card now.
Yeah, her artwork, right?
Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting because I love this card now. I mean, but I wouldn't have made this card. This is not my colors, right? But I love the way it turned out. So it's just, Do that once in a while. Pick a piece of artwork, even if you're not making a card for somebody in particular and you want to step outside the box. Find a piece of artwork with colors that look really cool together but are maybe outside of your comfort zone, and try making a card with them and see what you come up with. All right, Tom, what do you say? Give away a gift card?
Gift card.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. Drum roll. And the winner is Anna Marie Bukes. Anna Marie
Yay!
Bukes.
Congratulations! All you have to do is send your name and your email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and we will get that gift card out to you. Well, everybody, this was so much fun. Thank you all so much for spending your Thursday crafternoon here with Tom and I. We had a great time with you, and I hope you like this card, and I hope when you get your kit or down the line when you get your stamps and dies that you will give this one a try. Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stamp and Chat Live, and we hope you'll join us then. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.